Well, when I found out that I was going to the US, I felt pretty surprised at first because like the whole process for applying for this scholarship was pretty competitive. And I was like, well, I mean, it is worth like trying it, but I don't think I'll be chosen for the whole thing. So yeah, I felt pretty surprised, and at the same time, I felt pretty excited because that was something that I knew I put a lot of effort in the whole thing, um and yeah, surprised and amazed at the same time. I was with Martin, and we were in a coffee shop. Say that there were doubts in whether I should go or not because I knew the whole thing would be a lot of extra work and pressure for me because when I come back home I'll have to take a lot of exams and I'll have to catch up with like with the with all the things that I've missed in that year. So yeah, those were my doubts. Well, I, to be honest, it wasn't really that hard because I had a lot of time to prepare mentally and physically. It was basically like 6 months, so I had enough time to um, think through the whole thing and to prepare for the trip. So my daily routine, I basically wake up at around 7 o'clock. I get ready for school, then I go to breakfast. I have breakfast with my friends. Then we have morning classes. We usually have around three morning classes, depending on the day. There might be some days that we have two morning classes. Then at lunch, we have a community meeting where basically the whole student body gathers at one place, and that's like the time when people can announce different sport events or whenever if you have like any announcements, that's the time to do it. Then we all have lunch in the dining hall, and then we have afternoon classes. Um, and again, depending on the day, you basically have either three afternoon classes or two, and then in that's basically for school. Then in the afternoon, we all have sports or arts or theater or music, whatever you choose. I'm basically doing a sport, and then at around 5, 6, or 7, you go to dinner at whatever time you want to go, and then at night it they call it the quiet hours because that's like the time when everyone is preparing for school the other day and just like studying for exams or doing homework. And after the quiet hours, you're free to chill and do whatever you want. So the school year in the United States is basically divided into three sports seasons. You got the fall season, you got the winter season, and you got the spring season. And for every season, you can choose whether you want to do a sport, like arts, music, or you can do community service and volunteer work. And for the full season, I did cross country, which is basically long distance running. We basically ran like 5Ks and which is around like 5 kilometers, I think. And it's basically just like running, but it's a lot of running. It's like we were like horses, to be honest. And then the winter season now, I'm doing rock climbing, and I chose it because it's something that I've never done before, and I was like, well, I should just try it because it's a new experience, and why not? And yeah, I'm doing rock climbing now. Check it. Is it outside of the interview or just like? I don't think that's a good question. Like, are you seriously like climbing rocks? No, we're actually climbing in a gym. It's not a outdoor experience. It's more like because it's a winter sport, so we just basically keep it inside and in like like climbing gym. And yeah, I'm not actually climbing actual rocks, if that's your question. Yeah, I feel homesick to a certain degree, but not a lot. Because if it was a lot, I'll probably come back. And I really miss my friends, my family a lot, and also something that I really miss about Bulgaria is the food and the music, because they don't really have that here, and I have to like get used to eating a lot of fast food and like fried food, which is not that healthy. And I'm not saying that the food in Bulgaria right now is really healthy, but like they have a lot of like I'm kind of used to the yogurt and the cheese and all that like typical Bulgarian Balkan stuff that they don't have here. All right, so over over Christmas break, I went skiing with my host family and a couple of friends in the mountains, and that was actually my first time skiing. So I was like, all right, I mean, I'll try it. If it doesn't work out, all right, I'll do something else. And we went to this very, very big hill, which we had to use the lift to get there. And you know how the ski lift doesn't stop when you get on it and when you get off it. So the getting on the lift wasn't actually that hard. So I got on the lift successfully, and probably like halfway through, I was like, okay, so we got on the lift. How do I get off the lift now? And my host dad was like, all right, now you just basically slide forward, and the lift will push you itself like off it. And I was like, okay, I got it. I'll do it. And then we're approaching like the end of the hill and we're about to get off it. And my skis, they were super huge, like very huge skis. And the space between the lift and the ground is probably like this big. So my skis got caught on the ground and I basically slid back on the lift because I don't want to break the skis because they were probably very expensive. And before I noticed, there was nobody sitting next to me on the lift anymore. And actually, when I looked down, it was pretty high already because the lift was going back. So I was like, all right, should I jump or something? And I was like, okay, I'm jumping. And I basically jumped on my face. And that was a pretty good first lift experience. It was pretty, enlightening. Before I came to the US, I felt a bit just like as a place that is pretty far from Bulgaria. It's pretty distant and it takes a lot of time to go there. And I certainly wanted to visit it at some point in my life just to like go around and see it, not to live there. But now that I'm here and so much stuff has happened so far, and I've met a lot of people, a lot of new friends, and it's been awesome to be honest. And I feel it as if it's my like it's like I feel it very close to me as a place that I can come back and think of all those memories and visit those people here, like the teachers and like my classmates. Right now, I'm thinking about coming back here for college and for or university, but I don't know how this will work out for me. I hope it will work out because some colleges here have pretty low acceptance rates and it's really hard to get into. But I'll try. And for how long? It's probably either just for college or end up living here for some time in my life. Like not my whole life, but probably like I don't know. How do I feel about Molly? Molly is the greatest. She's awesome. She's so funny. Uh, my best my best memory with Molly. I remember the day before my flight to the U.S. Uh, I went out with Molly, because I think she was giving me some sort of like tips for the U.S. or I was asking her some questions, and we just basically went out and talked about like so much stuff. And she actually met my mom, and my mom doesn't really speak English. She just knows like hi, how are you, bye, and it was a pretty funny conversation between my mom and Molly. But Molly knows some Bulgarian, so that was a good thing to know. And I was having a conversation with my mom in Bulgarian, and Molly was like, "Oh yeah, I understand," and she was like, "Razbiram, razbiram," and that was pretty funny. I remember this.
Drop it.
So yeah, I would say that there were a certain amount of Можно почна от начало. There's always a certain amount of забравих тази дума. Doubt. Аз не знам защо казвам doubt. Мисля си за донати човек. So before